Hi, Mark. My name is Rita Chen Sihua. I'm a freshman and my student number is 11. The topic for today's speech is how Mr. Condon make Thailand a better place for life and love. Delivered by Mechai Viravaidya. Welcome to Thailand. Now, when I was a young man 40 years ago, the country was very, very poor with lots and lots and lots of people living in poverty. We decided to do something about it, but we didn't begin with a welfare program or a poverty reduction program, but we began with a family planning program. Following a very successful maternal child health activity sets of activities, so basically no one could accept family planning if their children didn't survive. So the first step, get to the children, get to the mothers, and then follow up with the family planning. Not just child mortality alone. You need also family planning. Now, let me take you back as to why we needed to do it. In my country, that was the case in 1974. 7 children per family, tremendous growth at 3.3%. There was just no future. We needed to reduce the population growth rate. So we said, let's do it. The women said, we agree, we'll use pills, but we need a doctor to prescribe the pills. And we had very, very few doctors. We didn't take no as answer. We took no as a question. We went to the nurses and the midwives, who were also women, and did a fantastic job at explaining how to use the pill. That was wonderful, but it covered only 20% of the country. What do we do for the other 80%? Leave them alone and say, well, they're not medical personnel. No, we decided to do a bit more. So we went to the ordinary people that you saw. Actually, below that yellow sign. I wish they hadn't wiped that. Because there was Coca-Cola there. We were so much bigger than Coca-Cola in those days, and no difference. The people they chose were the people we chose. They were well known in the community. They knew that customers were always right, and they were terrific, and they practiced their family planning themselves, so they could supply pills and condoms throughout the country, in every village of the country. So there we are. We went to the people who were seen as the cause of the problem to be the solution. Wherever there were people, and you can see boats with the women selling things. Here's the floating market selling bananas and crabs and also contraceptives where you find people. You'll find contraceptives in Thailand. And then we decided, why not get to religion, because in the Philippines, the Catholic Church was so pretty strong and Thai people were Buddhists. We went to them and they said, look, could you help us? I'm there, the one in blue, not the yellow, holding a bowl with holy water for the monk to sprinkle holy water on pills and condoms for the sanctity of the family. And this picture was sent throughout the country. So some of the monks in the village were doing the same things themselves. And the women were saying, no wonder we have no side effects. It's been blessed. That was their perception. And then we went to teachers. You need everybody to be involved in trying to provide whatever it is that make humanity a better place. So we went to the teachers. Over 250,000 were taught about family planning with the new alphabet. A, B for birth, C for condom, I for IUD, V for vasectomy. And then we had a snakes and ladders game, where you throw dice. If you then on anything pro-family planning, you move ahead. Like, mother takes the pill every night. Very good, mother. Move ahead. Uncle buys a condom. Very good, uncle. Move ahead. Uncle gets drunk. Doesn't use condom. Come back, start again. Laughter. Again, education, class entertainment, and the kids were doing it in school too. We had relay races with condoms. We had children's condom blowing championship, and before long, the condom was known as the girl's best friend. In Thailand, for poor people, diamonds don't make it, so the condom is the girl's best friend. We introduced our first microcredit program in 1975, and the woman who organized it said, "We only want to lend to women who practice family planning. If you're pregnant, take care of your pregnancy. If you're not pregnant, you can take a loan out from us." And that was run by them. And after 36 years, it is still going on. It's a part of the Village Development Bank. It's not a real bank, but it's a fund, microcredit, and we didn't need a big organization to run it. It was run by the villagers themselves. And you probably hardly see a chime in there. It's always women, 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 women. And then we thought we'd help America, because America's been helping everyone, whether they want help or not. Laughter. And this is on the 4th of July. We decided to provide vasectomy to all men, but in particular, American men to the front of the quay. Right of the ambassador's residence during his unclear, and the hotel gave us the ballroom for it. Very appropriate room. Laughter. And since it was near lunchtime, they said, "All right, we'll give you some lunch. Of course, it must be an American cola. You get 2 brands, Coke and Pepsi. And then the food is either hamburger or hot dog." And I thought a hot dog would be more symbolic. Laughter. And here is this then young man called Willie Boom, who worked for the USAID. Obviously, he's had his vasectomy because his hot dog is half eaten, and he was very happy. It made a lot of news in America, and it angered some people also. I said, "Don't worry, come over and I'll do the whole lot of you." Laughter. And what happened? In all this thing, from 7 children to 1.5 children, population growth rate of 3.3 to 0.5. You could call it the Coca-Cola approach if you like. It was exactly the same thing. I'm not sure whether Coca-Cola followed us or we followed Coca-Cola, but we're good friends, and so that's the case of everyone joining it. We didn't have a strong government, we didn't have lots of doctors, but it's everybody's job who can change attitude and behavior. Then AIDS came along and hit Thailand, and we had to stop doing a lot of good things to fight AIDS. But unfortunately, the government was in denial, so our work wasn't affected. So I thought, well, if you can't go to the government, go to the military. So I went to the military and asked to borrow 300 radio stations. They have more than the government, and they've got more guns than the government. So I asked them, could them help us in our fight against HIV? And after I gave them the statistics, they said, "Yes, okay, you can use all the radio stations, television stations." And that's soon after that, and he said, "Mechai, could you come and join?" He asked me because he liked my wife a lot, so I said, okay. He became the chairman of the National AIDS Committee and increased the budget 50-fold. Every ministry, even judges, have to be involved in AIDS education, everyone, and we set the public institutions, religious institutions, schools. Everyone was involved, and here, every media person had to be trained for HIV. And we gave every station half a minute extra for advertising to earn more money. So they were happy with that. And then AIDS education in all schools, starting from universities, and these are high school kids teaching high school kids. And the best teachers were the girls, not the boys, and they were terrific. At least girls who go around teaching about safe sex and HIV were known as Mother Teresa. And then we went down one more step. These are primary school kids, 3rd, 4th grade, going to every household in the village, every household in the whole of Thailand, giving AIDS information and a condom to every household, given by these young kids, and no parents objected because they were trying to save lives, and this was a lifesaver. And we said everyone needs to be involved. So you can have the companions also realizing that sick staff don't work and dead customers don't buy, so they all trained. And then we have this Captain Condom with his Harvard MBA going to schools and night spots, and they loved him. You need a symbol of something. In every country, every program, you need a symbol, and this is probably the best thing he's ever done with his MBA. Laughter. And then we gave condoms out everywhere on the streets, everywhere, everywhere. In taxis, you get condoms, and also in traffic, the policemen give you condoms. Or our Copes and Rubbers program. Laughter. So can you imagine New York policemen giving out condoms? Of course I can, and they'd enjoy it immensely. I see them standing around right now everywhere. Imagine if they had condoms giving out to all sorts of people, and then new change, we had hairbands, clothing, and condom for your mobile phone during the rainy season. Laughter. And these were the condoms that we introduced. One says, weapon of mass protection. We found, somebody here was searching for the weapon of mass destruction. But we have found a weapon of mass protection, the condom. And it says here, with the American flag, don't leave home without it. But I have some to give out afterward. But let me warn you, these are tie-sized, so be very careful. Laughter. And so you can see that condoms can do so many things. Look at this. I gave this to Al Gore and to Bill Sr. also. Stop global warming, use condoms. And then this is the picture I mentioned to you, the weapon of mass protection. And that the next Olympics save some lives. Why just run around? Laughter. And then finally, in Thailand, we're Buddhists. We don't have a God. So instead, we say, in rubber we trust. Laughter. So you can see that we added everything to our endeavor to make life better for the people. We had condoms in all the refrigerators in the hotels and the schools because alcohol impairs judgment. And then what happened? After all this time, everyone joined in. According to the UN, new cases of HIV declined by 90%, and according to the World Bank, 7.7 million lives were saved. Otherwise, there wouldn't be many Thais walking around today. So it just showed you could do something about it. 90% of the funding came from Thailand. There was political commitment, some financial commitment, and everybody joined in the fight. So just don't leave it to the specialists and doctors and nurses. We all need to help. And then we decided to help people out of poverty. Now that we got AIDS somewhat out of the way, this time not with government alone, but in cooperations with business community. Because poor people are business people who lack business skills and access to credit. Those are the things to be provided by the business community. We tried to turn them into barefoot entrepreneurs, little business people. The only way out of poverty is through business enterprise. So that was done. The money goes from the company into the village via tree planting. It's not a free gift. They plant the trees and the money goes into the microcredit fund, which we call the Village of Development Bank. Everybody joins in, and they feel they own the bank because they have brought the money in. And before you can borrow the money, you need to be trained. And we believe if we want to help the poor, those who are living in poverty, access to credit must be a human right. Access to the credit must be a human right. Otherwise, they will never get out of poverty. And then before getting a loan, you must be trained. Here's what we call a barefoot MBA. Teaching people how to do business so that when they borrow money, they'll succeed with the business. These are some of the businesses: mushroom, crabs, vegetables, trees, fruits, and this is very interesting. Nike ice cream and Nike biscuits. This is a village sponsored by Nike. They said they should stop making shoes and clothes. Make these better because we can afford them. And then we have silk, Thai silk. Now we're making Scottish tartans, so you can see on the left, to sell to all people of Scottish ancestors. So anyone sitting in and watching TV, get in touch with me. And then this is our answer to Starbucks in Thailand. Coffee and condoms. See? Starbucks, you awake. We keep you awake and alive. That's the difference. Can you imagine? At every Starbucks that you can also get condoms, you can order your condoms with your cappuccino. And then now, finally in education, we want to change the school as being underutilized into a place where it's a lifelong learning center for everyone. We call this our school-based integrated rural development and is a center, a focal point for economic and social development. Redo the school, make it serve the community needs, and here is a bamboo building. All of them are bamboo. This is a geodesic dome made of bamboo, and I'm sure Buckminster Fuller would be very, very proud to see a bamboo geodesic dome. And we use vegetables around the school grounds, so they raise their own vegetables. And then, finally, I firmly believe if we want the MDGs to work the Millennium Development Goals, we need to add family planning to it. Of course, child morality first and then family planning. Everyone needs family planning service. It's underutilized, so we have now found a weapon of mass protection. And we also ask the next Olympics to be involved in saving lives. And then, finally, that is our network. And these are our Thai tulips. Laughter. Thank you very much indeed. Applause.